Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in this channel. I'd like to start by wishing all my subscribers, viewers, and everyone well. And I would like to give my deepest condolence to Nicola's parents, Nicola's daughters, and Nicola's loved ones. Nicola Bulley was reported missing on the 27th of January. Her body was found 23 days later near Rockcliffe Road. Peter, Folding, and the SGI team and the police divers, mountain rescue team, and all of them did a thorough search. The first day the search went, I believe, a mile, at times I've heard 3 miles, but somewhere between that. So Nicola Bulley was in Cleary in Rockcliffe Road, near Rockcliffe Road. The inquest has ruled Nicola's death as a drowning. It's very sad. It's terrible. Because I don't believe Nicola fell in the river. The doctor, autopsy doctors, coroners, who were doing the autopsy for Nicola Bulley, said that she had water in her lungs, and that she's clearly drowned, accidentally drowning. I found it interesting that they said that the family asked the doctor to rule this out as an accident. That would clearly say that the family want to move on, obviously. And that I can understand because of closure. There has to be some kind of closure, especially for the 2 little girls. But what happened to Nicola Bulley? I guess we'll never know. Some cases, I believe, we all get so caught up in, so invested in, whether it's time, whether it's following the case, uploading videos of the case, trying to find out what could have happened. Although we are not investigators and we're not police investigators, but just the reason we are doing that for most of us, I'm sure, is to make sure that justice is served for the people who do not have a voice of their own. That is the reason I started this channel, to spread awareness. So these are Nicola Bulley's case is one of the cases that I believe will stick to many of us dearly. Because although Nicola wasn't our family or a friend, I love what Charlotte said in an interview, Nicola's next door neighbor and friend, when the reporter asked her, "You know Nicola best. We heard this and this. What do you think?" She said, "That's the thing. Without knowing Nicola, everyone feels like they know her, because that was the kind of character and personality Nicola had. She was a very open person." One thing blessed, I personally believe, that came out of this case is that it was ruled out as an accident and not a suicide. At the same time, another good thing that came out of this case is that the pathologist, not the pathologist, the autopsy and coroner doctors confirmed that Nicola had no alcohol in her body. For the last 2 days, I've been really sad and heartbroken, seriously, because of the whole verdict, the way things turned, although I was expecting it to go that way. What is shocking and sad is they mentioned the man with the beanie hat and black clothes, sounded like Men in Black, but yet 2 witnesses mentioned them, but yet again there wasn't further follow-up questions with the doctor. The doctor should have followed up those questions definitely with Lancashire Police and asked them to investigate more about the suspicious man in black. But that didn't happen. There's no CCTV footages. So how could they confirm that Nicola fell in the river? Witnesses that we've never heard of before, obviously, were in the inquest. And there was a nurse called Helen who said she heard screams in the river. So the nurse, Helen, said that she saw or she heard a scream from the river side. And I believe she was near the graveyards. She thought that she heard the scream, coming from the church and the graveyard side. The other witness who said she heard screams too, I believe was near the school. And they both thought or assumed that it was teenagers and children playing around. I find that to be really weird, honestly, because I do understand teenagers. I have teenagers. I know how teenagers can sound and play, but then it's really strange for me that none of the witnesses bothered to go and actually go out and check what it was or to alert anyone else. Because I personally believe when you have a river in that area and these people are born and raised there, without blaming anyone, when you hear, if I heard noises, I would try and go and double check if the people who just passed me, the teenagers, are safe. They're teenagers, they're children. I would have checked if somebody's in danger. Or I would have maybe called, I would have maybe called the authorities to check if something was going wrong, if that makes sense. But why would someone actually decide to think that it's just a scream? Nothing more than that, let it be. That I find really sad. Because no matter what, if they heard the screaming and God forbid, Nicola fell in the river that minute or she was pushed in the river, because there was a man with a beanie hat. So this is not something that I'm adding to. I always go with facts. And the facts are stating that there's a strange man with a beanie hat. Let's not forget, in Paul Ans's interview, Paul clearly said, everybody knows everybody here. If you don't know somebody, he said, it'll stick out like a sore thumb. Like people would understand automatically that you're not from the village. So somebody actually stood out like a sore thumb, like Paul said. But it was ignored. He was ignored. Nobody thought much about it. Isn't that strange? Somebody wearing black clothing and a beanie hat doesn't necessarily mean it is suspicious. But when somebody stands out like a sore thumb to the other people and they haven't met the person before and they found it a bit odd, and he was not walking. When the last witness saw Nicola, he said the guy was walking near her. Why wouldn't they assume that a third party couldn't have happened when there was already somebody who stood out? Doesn't make sense to me. Another thing that I did not understand how that could have happened, although this is inquest and not a court case. Didn't the police check Paul Ansler's interview? Didn't they? Definitely they checked, analyzed the interview like we were doing. Didn't Paul clearly say in his interview? In the interview, Paul clearly said that he called Nicola, his phone, nobody answered. Then he said, I called a WhatsApp, nobody answered. And he said he was concerned. Paul did not at all mention that he texted Nicola Bulley, may she rest in peace, and said, are you lost? Okay. Are you lost could be a joke when somebody obviously is late. And you say, what's going on? Are you lost? Typical saying. But I wonder at times, are you lost? Could that be a signal? Because that was only text message he sent. Could it be possibly that he was just checking to see if Nicola would answer for? Is my question. Because now that is a huge red flag, I believe. That is a concern. You went into an interview with Dan, which Paul, I heard Emma and Paul and all, they chose it together. You had the chance. Dan asked you many times, is there anything more you want to say? It's not like Paul could have easily forgot that under stress and all, because he took the interview. Was it on the 2nd or 3rd? And Nicola Bulley went missing on the 27th. It was only 5 days later. Why didn't Paul say, I texted Nicola and I said, Nikki, are you lost? Why are you lost? That's important. That's a text message. How could he have forgotten that? Even if he forgot that, he could have added that later on in the interview, because a text message is important. Are you lost? I can't get over that. Why would Nicola Bulley be lost in a place that she's been living for 20 years? She gave birth to her 2 daughters in that place. She works there. She lives there. She lives in Inskip. They live just 10 minutes away. Why would you say, are you lost? And then guess what? After that text, a couple of minutes later on, Nicola vanished in thin air. I'm just saying, I'm being polite and mindful, but now I'm quoting and I'm talking about what was written in the transcript. And those questions are important to ask, because we have been working on this case for so long. We haven't been working on the case, but as a YouTube creator. I have interest in this case. I'm around Nicola's age. I'm worried for my other sisters. I don't mean my blood sisters, I mean my other sisters as women, us women. If we women don't feel safe to walk out with a dog or walk by ourselves, and then all of a sudden we fall in a river, and it turns out to be accidentally drowning, although there was a black man with a beanie hat. Just let that sink in. Doesn't make sense. Are you lost? Why would Nicola be lost? And imagine if that was just a coincidence. Can be possible. But what a coincidence. Are you lost? You're lost all of a sudden. After that message. Explain that. Plus, Paul did not mention he sent a text message. So Lancashire Police, where are the questions and the police integration for such things? Because clearly something doesn't make sense. And Lancashire Police, I'm just wondering, where's the man with the black beanie hat? You were told in the beginning that there were two people with a red van. The guy from the gas station works in the gas station who had the footage said, y'all can read that in the newspaper, he said that he called the police, he told them about the footage, and he said after a couple of days, two policemen came who were very, what was it called? There was a word he said, not angry, but just maybe stressed or whatsoever. He said, I just handed over it. And at times I wonder, what if it wasn't the police? What if it was somebody else he handed it over to? Could the two men with the beanie or the man with the beanie hat, could he be the one that was seen with the red van? Or was it a fisherman? Nicola Bulley wasn't an alcoholic. Let's get that clear. Let's get that out of the system. Thank God. God Almighty is great. I prayed the 4 months. God, help this poor woman and her children. Please let that ugliness stigma that they put on her decent name help her, Father. There she was helped. We all prayed for that. Thank God. Because Nicola wasn't an alcoholic. I always said that what happened on the 10th of January, before we even knew about the transcript, has everything to do with what happened on that day. I really believe that. I guess since the case, I don't understand, since the case, I believe the police could have handled this case, Lancashire Police could have handled it better by telling us certain things, and there wouldn't have been so many rumors and speculations. But now that the inquest has happened and is done, I hope the family get closure. Number one, the daughters are the main thing. But I hope that this case, one day somebody, one fine day somebody who knows something talks. That's not much to ask for. I hope Nicola gets justice and somebody talks. There was a man seen with a beanie hat and black clothing. Or was it two? But there was a man seen. So what is it over here that we are supposed to be believing that an accident just happened? Nothing criminal happened. But yet there was a man with a beanie hat who looked suspicious and black clothing. Yet two people were seen in a van who were suspicious. in the beginning. Y'all clearly saw Rebecca Smith dismissed that. Superintendent Rebecca. She said, yeah, the many people would just call and speculate, and yeah, lines will be full and all. Believe me, some people call the police and they do say rumors they heard or something they watched on YouTube or something. But not everyone has that time. The sad thing is the police is supposed to take each and every report they get serious. They didn't. The primary school was called and the police wasn't called in the beginning. But I still can't get over the one of Paul texting Nicola saying, "Are you lost?" at 9:15. Why didn't he mention that in the interview? What else didn't he mention in the interview? What else didn't he mention to the police? Louise called the mental health team for Nicola because she was concerned for Nicola. So she called the welfare team and the mental health nurse, the emergency mental health team. She must have been really concerned something must have happened. That's what I'm thinking, because to call the mental health team, it is kind of serious, concerning. There has to be something there, because to call the mental health team, they're the emergency line. So it's not like me, a practitioner who does therapy or psychiatrist who does his assessment evaluation through the GP. Like a doctor refers someone to the psychiatrist, and that takes a long time. But then people come to therapy and talk and all and feel much better. And then they get help from the psychiatrist and the doctors with medications and such things, if it's necessary. But to call the mental health team, crisis team, I wonder, was Nicola suffering through depression, clinical depression? Was she having serious outbursts? Was the episodes happening? Because to call that team, something must have seriously happened. That's, in a way, I hate to say it, usually it's when a person is out of control, is having an episode, is having a psychosis episode, or having some other mental health issues. Because the welfare team were called. And then the police came too. So there had to be an incident that happened. And the reason I say that is go back and remember what the police said at the start. When they said that Nicola had vulnerabilities, they said on the 10th of January, the medical team, that's what they said, but now we know it's the mental health team, were called, the welfare team and the police. No arrest was made in this incident. So the police was called because something was happening. But the question is, I'm not worried about what happened with Nicola that day, if she had an outburst or not. I'm more bothered about what happened before that. How did Nicola fall? Did she accidentally fall and hit her head? Did something happen? Could that have caused Nicola to fall in the river? Just a question. Another thing that I found a bit strange is the mental health nurse said that Nicola was wearing a leggings and a t-shirt, I believe. She didn't want to talk. She went back to her room. And I found it strange. She was asked, was she depressed? And the mental health nurse said, no. I don't know. I don't think so. Now, I found that strange. I'll tell you the reason why. But that's a mental health nurse. We have different departments. But as a therapist, I know for a fact that you wouldn't be saying somebody is depressed or not, or debunking it, if the person is intoxicated. You can't do therapy or you can't do a mental health evaluation on somebody who's drinking. That's very important. That's rule number one. As practitioners, we don't deal with somebody intoxicated or somebody on drugs, on addictions. Although they're sent to counseling, there are rules. They're told do not come to therapy intoxicated. Others, it's cancelled. So how come the mental health nurse say that she didn't think Nicola was depressed? That I find to be very, very strange. She said she didn't look depressed. Of course, she didn't look depressed if you ask me, because she was intoxicated. When you're going to check for depression, anxiety, all that as a therapist, we do it in a way, there's a scale of the DSM that we follow. DSM-5. We check the scale, just say from 1 to 10, how high is the anxiety? It could be 5 this week, and you could come next week for therapy, and it could be 7. It could have gone high up. And maybe you've had a couple of weeks therapy, your structure, everything is becoming better, and then your anxiety could go down to 2, 3. Example, the same with depression. So how did the mental health nurse come to this conclusion that Nicola was not depressed? Nicola was intoxicated. She said that herself. So how could you have not? I would have. I love my mental health team. Mental health nurses are blessed. They do a beautiful job. But in this case, something is not right. Why did they not monitor Nicola Bulley? She had a bump on her head. The mental health nurse told her to go to the GP tomorrow, if you read the transcript. Isn't that strange? Why does she need to go to the GP when there's an ambulance and the welfare team and the police and the mental health nurse there? Why? Why did the ambulance take Nicola Bulley to the hospital, get her head checked completely, because she had the accident she had the bump on her head on the 10th. 16 days later, Nicola was gone. What could be the reason that Nicola did not go to the hospital that day? She didn't want to talk. She said she wanted to sleep. But I would have thought automatically, and I'm not a doctor, any doctor watching would have understood. I don't think a doctor, even a mental health nurse or mental health team, I don't think it's advisable to tell someone, okay, you don't want to talk, it's okay, go sleep, and they go off. No. Because if the person had a fall and has a bump on the head and has an injury, they shouldn't be sleeping. They should go get their head checked immediately. And y'all had Lancashire, y'all had St. Michael's, y'all had the mental health team there. Why didn't y'all take Nicola Bulley to the hospital for a psychiatrist to evaluate and check her when she was not intoxicated anymore, when she was sober? So my question is, did the crew that went to Nicola Bulley on the 10th of January, did they not do their job right? I hate to say that, but it's the truth. You all had a woman, and I'm not only talking about the mental health nurse, there was the ambulance crew there, and there was a policeman. The policeman who must have been there to organize that, they must have been yelling and fighting in the house. Could be allegedly between the two sisters, or maybe between Paul and Nicola. Whatever it was, the police was called to escort. Don't forget, when police come, they don't come for fun. It's the real deal. That means somebody's misbehaving. Or ambulances usually get escorted by the police if it is a rough neighborhood. Or if there are dogs loose, wild dogs, like, or dogs that, what are they called? The ones that are breeded. All those dogs, such things. Because the ambulance crew, the mental health nurse, have to feel safe, and the welfare team. But it was sad when I read in the transcript, it clearly said that Nicola, Louise said she was suffering of depression, and she said she didn't even want to see her children. I wonder if it was the medications, the HRT hormones, the symptoms that messed it up for Nicola. I feel so bad and so sorry for her. So that is the reason I believe the police took the first inquest or the first investigation of the 10th first and cleared themselves, because something happened there. Something happened that day that had to be really tragic. I wonder where Nicola got that bump from. Did she fall? What happened? Or did she come into harm through somebody else's hand that day? Just a question. But I've decided, no matter what, to give closure to this family. They deserve it, especially the daughters. May God bless your mother. May she rest in peace. May justice be served for her. And one day when you'll grow up and you'll watch our clips, I'm really sorry. There are clips that you may not like, but we were just trying to get justice for your mother. I promise to go through back to all my clips and check. I'm quite mindful with things I say, but since the inquest has happened, I believe I need to go back to my channel and put things on private, maybe, because this is one case that I will still try and investigate in the background. I'm not giving up on Nicola Bulley, but I'm not going to put Nicola's pictures up there in social media. And that I'm doing it for 4 people, for the respect of 4 people. In fact, 5. Nicola's mother, father, Nicola's children, Nicola's sister, Louise. I'm doing it for y'all. May God bless y'all. May God bless your sister, your daughter. I'm really sorry about what happened. I'm really, really hurtful about what happened. I wish there was a better justice system, and I wish, I don't know what to say. I wish the mental health team, the welfare team, and the police that day who went to Nicola Bulley's house did a better job. They shouldn't have left somebody who had a bump on her head, who had a fall, or whatever. They didn't even investigate. Don't ever forget, it was 1 policeman who came, not even 2. Did Penny come to the trial? I don't think so. Well, I don't know. But I've read all the other statements, most of them. I'm still going through the transcript, but I made this clip to point out the thing that I really found, a couple of things that I really found to be red flag. And I would say red flag. Paul Ansel, you could have put it in your interview that you texted Nicola. Why would you say, Paul, that Nicola, are you lost? Why would Nicola be lost? He sent that message at 9:15. Isn't that the time Nicola went in the water? Strange. I'm just going to try and continue, guys, to see if there's anything our channel can do, but I don't think we can do much. There's nothing to be done. The inquest is done. Very sad, very heartbreaking. Sadly, I expected nothing less. Hate to say that. But now it's good to know in details what happened. And for me, when I heard all those details, it just made me think, didn't I say 10th of January, whatever happened caused this? How could they let a woman who had a fall, or maybe she was hit, or whatever happened to Nicola Bulley that day on the 10th of January? They should have admitted her to the hospital. They should have called a psychiatrist. They should have put her in therapy. They should have checked if she had depression, find out where it's coming from. The GP, I love the GP, Nicola's GP. Thank you very much. Respect to you for saying that Nicola wasn't suicidal. Thank you. So we have, look at the positive things. Let's count the positive things because that is beautiful. Nicola was not an alcoholic. Nicola did not have alcohol issues. So, Paul, try harder. It ain't working. Second thing, which is good, Nicola did not have alcohol in her body. At least her beautiful daughters don't have to have that trauma. That's true. Number 3, that's beautiful. Nicola, in her final moments before she died, or before whatever happened, there was a guy with a beanie hat, obviously. Before whatever happened, Nicola texted her friend Lucy to make a play date for her daughters. And I think that is a beautiful mother. I hope Nicola's daughters keep that memory. Your mom loved you. You had a beautiful mom. Y'all know her. We don't even know her. But we got to know her through this sad case. And that's all we ever wanted, to make sure, as a mental health counselor, if you'll ever grow up and see this video or this clip, I want you all to know I was fighting for this cause, that your mother wouldn't be labeled a person who had alcohol addiction, because then they wanted us to believe she fell in the river because she was drunk. I knew Nicola would never do that. We know more like who was alcoholic here, without saying names. Pictures speak louder than words. Nicola would drink to have fun once in a while. She had a bleep, like they said, but she got back fine in January. Another red flag that I feel is a red flag. If I knew my sister was going through this, and I called the mental health team for my sister, and I stayed with her for 3 days, is that enough? I don't think so. My sister's depressed. If my sister says I'm depressed, I don't even want to see my children, do you think I would have left her side? I would have made sure, whether she doesn't want me, I would have made sure to call Nicola's parents. We should have called her mother and father and said, you know what, take over. I've done 3 days, now it's your turn. They should have admitted Nicola. They should have admitted Nicola or monitored Nicola. That is another thing. That's another red flag. The mental health nurse knew she was going through depression. The welfare crew, because Louise said that she was going through depression. The nurse said she didn't look depressed. How can the nurse say Nicola doesn't look depressed when Nicola is intoxicated? How could you be doing an evaluation of an intoxicated person? How could you be saying she's not depressed? Because we don't know. And that's why y'all can check it out. We are not allowed to be doing assessment of a person who's intoxicated as a therapist. I don't know if other therapists maybe do it, but you won't see that. In UK, if you're under the BACP, you can't be doing that. So I don't understand what happened here. The mental health nurse should have just maybe come back next day, because they can see this is a situation. Welfare is already involved because they're concerned. Welfare usually comes when there's concern for the person and if there's children at home. So they saw children at home, small children. The welfare should have just done one thing: told the mental health nurse, we'll monitor her tonight. Lucy, you're here. Not Lucy, what's her name? Louise, you're here. Call us, let her go to sleep. And then they should have come next day and taken Nicola to the hospital. Huh? Maybe put a sanction even, if they thought it was so serious. Got her to the hospital to get a bump check. After the CT scan that they did that showed was normal, they're already in the hospital. I would have tried and got a psychiatrist, because the woman just had a fall or her hit on her head. Whatever happened to her can cause, like she said, symptoms that Nicola said was nausea. It can even lead a person into, that is a serious maybe concussion, that can lead a person into serious things, brain bleeding, anything. So they should have admitted Nicola Bulley. They should have taken her to the hospital next day. The mental health nurse should have called backup. She should have called the mental health team like the psychiatrist and said, this is the situation, what do you think? I don't know how Lancashire or St. Michael's does mental health team there, but mental health team usually doesn't talk to a person who's intoxicated. If they come, they're right, they're supposed to come there. She came, the mental health nurse saw that she was intoxicated, but in the transcript when she was asked, how was Nicola doing? She said she was okay. They asked her, was she depressed? She said, no, I don't think so. She wasn't depressed. How could you tell that a person is depressed or not depressed if they're intoxicated? You're not supposed to be even that, because your results and your assessment is going to be wrong. The person is clearly not in their right mind. A lot has gone wrong in this case from the start. And I don't think we'll ever get an apology from Lancashire Police about how this whole case went. Not to the public, to the family even. I wonder who was the man with the beanie hat. I always said all the people in Ultimate, what's it called? Ultimate Lane? And what's it called? Garston Road? All those people should have been checked. The whole of St. Michael's, the witnesses should have been checked properly. 2 people said they heard a scream. It's horrible. You all heard a scream and you all thought it was teenagers. Don't you think you'll need to go check on those teenagers in case they fell in the river, God forbid? No sketches was made of a man in a beanie hat and black clothes that Senior Superintendent Rebecca Smith or Superintendent Sally Riley put up. Very strange. And the family, that is what the transcript said, the family asked the doctor to rule this out as an accident. When they say family, please guys, never ever misunderstand. The person who seems to be talking for the family is Paul, in case you all haven't noticed that. So the family is Paul. The mother and father don't do much talking. Not to any YouTubers. I refuse to believe that. Yes, we all talk to people in Lancashire on Facebook or whatsoever. But the family is not going to tell you that much. They refuse to tell anyone anything until the inquest, the parents. So that is the story of Nicola Bulley. The inquest went into a turn that we obviously didn't want it to go. What I don't understand is, why didn't they just leave the man with the, what's it called? With the beanie hat. They didn't need to mention him. Then nobody would have been bothered. But it's like, Okay, now we wrapped up the case, guys, yeah? But guess what? There's a man with the beanie hat. Let's reopen it again. Now let the speculations and the rumors continue, just like they did at the start. They told us that Nicola had alcohol addictions and menopause issues, and they said, okay, now stop the rumors and speculations. Imagine that. And then social media is blamed for it. Now they said the inquest is closed. They didn't even say, Paul, why didn't you tell Dan on Channel 5 that you texted Nicola and said, Nicola, not even Nicola, he said, are you lost? That should say a lot. And that was at 9:15. When did Nicola enter the water? Oh. Anyway, guys, that is about the Nicola Jane Bulley case. May she rest in peace. I hope and I pray that St. Michael's, if you're hearing, the counselor, Andrew Snowden, I beg you all to take that bench, paint it, write beautiful words on it, maybe make a cover place so that people could put notes, make it a bench for mental health, for depression, for people who have anxiety, so that they can come and sit there. Please do that for Nicola, just like it was done for Gabby Petito. That bench should be for Nicola. In memory of Nicola, flowers should be there for her every time anyone feels like buying flowers. If anyone feels like just going and sitting there and just having a thought and thinking, I think that is beautiful, guys. The bench should be dedicated to Nicola. And another thing that I find really strange, didn't that counselor of St. Michael's say that he's going to put fence on that place so that no other accidents happen? He said that 3 days before Nicola was found to Sky News is reconstruction. What happened, counselor? Or is it just like our friend said, Charlotte? People don't just fall in the river. It's astonishing to fall there. Anyway, guys, look after yourselves. Blessings. Love you all. And stay blessed. Love each other. There's too much on YouTube going on. We don't need bullying. We don't need harassments. We are here. We are here to learn from each other, to respect each other, to be mindful, to have boundaries. That's what mental health is about. Because if we keep on harassing each other, bullying each other on the internet, that becomes depression, anxiety, paranoia, and other serious mental health illnesses. I don't care if anyone's a small channel or big channel. People can have their differences, but put your differences aside. You shouldn't be doing personal attacks on people's family here. And this I really have to say, and I mean it, to all the channels who are putting this little boy's face up, this little boy with the black hair. I think he's Asian. I wish his parents see that and take all of y'all to court. Please put down that picture. That is disrespectful. There is minor laws. I don't know what YouTube, if you're watching this, what is happening? That little boy's face needs to go down. It needs to go down. As a mental health counselor, I'm saying that loud and clearly. First time and hopefully the last time. That little boy's face has been on for how long, guys? For a couple of days. Imagine if that was your son. Imagine if that was someone close to you, your nephew. As a mental health counselor, I do child psychology too, and I know what children suffer too. Children should never be put there. This is the internet. There are real sick people over there in the internet. They can take their little boys' pictures. Please stop doing this. Whether you are saying that, oh, we blanked his face, what's the point? The first time you all did this, 3, 4 days ago, the boy's face was there without being blanked. We all saw his face, so we know what he looks like. He's only 13 years old. Please, I'm begging and I'm pleading to take that picture down. It's a shame that we are sitting here instead of trying to unite to get justice for people. We shouldn't be turning on each other and using a 13-year-old boy in the mad play, because that is wrong. And I'm saying that as a licensed mental health counselor. Enough is enough. Don't put that little boy's face up there. That little boy could be a victim. I've been watching this nonsense the whole day for the last 3 days without mentioning names. Take that boy's picture down. Whether it's on the internet and that you're allowed to get it legally, y'all didn't take consent, y'all didn't take permission from the boy's parents. He's a minor. It's like me doing counseling with a child, doing therapy with a child without the parents' permission. You can't do that. You don't put pictures up. When that child gets traumatized, he ends up in our offices as therapists. And the worst thing you can do, the saddest thing, heartbreaking thing, is watching a child go through counseling. That's my personal opinion. So please do stop that. There are more things to talk about, better things to talk about, better ways to do it. Because bullying, harassment, all these things are part of counseling. This is not good for anyone. Even if Nicola Bulley's case is over, there's other cases that need a help and attention. And I've always been, my family channel know that I'll still be working a bit on Nicola's case, being mindful. Like if there's anything new that comes up, which I doubt. But for now, may Nicola rest in peace. May the family move on with their life. She'll always be loved and in their hearts. And I'm happy that Nicola didn't have any alcohol addictions. Nicola did not die with alcohol in her system. So at least God loves good. God made sure that those 2 little girls grow up knowing that their mother loved them and she was making a play date for them. So may God bless those 2 children and all our children and all of us. Guys, life is too short. Love each other. Don't hate each other. Working as a mental health counselor, I know how bullying, harassment, and all these things really can turn someone's life around, really in a bad way. Look after yourself, guys, and please take that picture down. Whoever put that picture up. Because if that boy's parents see it, it doesn't become a social media thing. It becomes a police case automatically. Remember that. Look after yourself, guys. Love y'all, all my subscribers. I can't even mention y'all because thank y'all. I love y'all. I really respect y'all. I enjoy everything we talk about in the comment section. Y'all are always being true to me. And guys, even if the Nicola Bulley's case took a long time, so everyone's wondering, what is this channel going to be doing? Guys, before this case, I'm going to take on other cases. If there's anything interesting y'all have for me, write it down in the comments. I'm always willing. We are family. We're here to learn from each other. We can jump on a case and try to be mindful and try to figure out what happened in that case. But y'all are aware of in my channel, people think that Nicola was the case that opened my channel and that I only work on Nicola's case. I used to work on Orrin and Austin West's case, many other cases, although my channel went slow with subscribing because I wasn't uploading much. I wasn't doing much last year. But now it's summer holidays. I intend to build this channel, and especially, guys, please like, share, subscribe, guys, to mental health, Huda London, psychology, and crime. So I think I will be doing my mental health and psychology and such things on that channel, and this channel will be more for missing cases and crime. So if there's any new ideas you'll have, let me know, guys. But the case that I've always been working on, right before even Nicola's case started, was Summer Moon YouTubers. So let me tell you a bit about Summer so that you would know. It is a huge case, a very big case. On the 15th of June 2021, Candice Bly, that is Summer Wells' mother, and Donald Wells, that's Summer's father, reported Summer missing. Actually, it was Candice. She called her husband, who was at work. She said, I can't find Summer. Summer was in the basement. I told her brothers to look after her. And Candice said, I came back within 2 minutes. I was helping my mother, who lives in the trailer, with her knee bracelet. And I came back to the basement and Summer was gone. So they said it was abduction. Wasn't abduction. Nobody knows till now. It's been 2 years. No sign of Summer Moon Wells. This happened in Rogersville, Tennessee. Summer is like my baby. In YouTube, we call Summer, we call ourselves actually Summer's Army when it comes to Summer Wells, because there's like thousands, I believe at least over 1,000 YouTube creators who've been working on the case. Many of them even closed down their channel or got closed. But this case has caused a lot of arguments. It's caused people to go down to Tennessee, just like people went down to Lancashire. But this one was a bit worse because it wasn't like Curtis one. This one was attacking Don and Candice, the parents. And the parents had this nasty habit of drinking, coming on the TV at night, coming on the panels, making a mess. The mother, Candice Bly, took 12 days to talk to the press. Dawn is the one who talks and lies for the mother, allegedly. She never talks. She hardly talks because if she talks, she has to tell where Summer is. The other 3 boys were taken from the house. Summer was never found. Don even said he bought all his 3 boys pocket knives. So if you'll get tuned into that case, I have a lot of clips in my channel. Like, you can go behind and check. And yeah. And if you want to, I don't do live streams, but if you'll ever get bored and want to go and check on this case, there's many YouTube creators who do live stream about this case. But I was a mod in Am No Thanks Investigates, Am No Thanks Investigates, Doug. Try and check him out, please. I like him because I've been a mod in his channel, and when I started my channel, he always gives me shout-outs. So he deserves that. He's worked really hard on this case. He's invited Dawn and Candice to his panels many times. The day Dawn got arrested was actually the day he went to Doug's channel and I was a mod. And Doug told him, don't drink and drive. And he deliberately did it. That's Summer Wells' father, and he went to jail for a year. He came out. He's trying his best, I think, to clean up himself, but he's blaming the guy who used to work with him. And then there was a guy called Jose who was supposed to be living with this family for a couple of months. He came on TV and he spoke about it and all, and then he disappeared, and we heard that he committed suicide. We prayed everything for him, and then we heard he's alive. Guys, we've been through a lot with this case with Summer Wells. So we don't know if he's dead or alive, but the main thing is the 911 operator who picked up the phone said the mother went for a walk. So that is serious because she said she was always at home. So jump into that case if you want. It's been 2 years. It's called Summer Wells. Her name is Summer Moon Utah Wells, but Summer Wells is her name. She's from Tennessee. Those children, her and her brothers, were really badly treated. It's a very sad case. If you see this case and follow this case, you will want to give out everything you have to find this baby girl. She's got these beautiful big blue eyes and blonde hair. She was always running around happy. The last picture of Summer was her in the car. After the swimming, she went with a 15-year-old boy called Hunter. That is her mother's best friend's son, who has ADHD, impulsive ADHD. She bought him vapes, she bought him alcohol, and he was only 14 years old. We could see him on her TikTok pictures splashing water on little Summer, and she didn't like it. That was one of the last pictures of Summer that she put on TikTok. And then there's a picture of her, Summer, in the car. She has a fracture on her head. She looks like she's sleeping. Her lips look like they're big blue. That was when Summer was last seen. So nobody knows if she was dead or alive in that picture. But follow that case. And a lot of clips at the start of the case last year and last year, a year and a half ago. Yeah, and I intend to jump back on that case because it's a case I've been working over 2 years. But if anything comes on Nicola Bulley, I will report it definitely. And I think I will have to talk about Nicola Bulley one more time because I haven't gone through the transcript. Today I spoke a bit about let me summarize, the mental health team. The nurse shouldn't have left. She should have monitored her or come back the next day. They should have even sanctioned her. Because the police came and they said arrest was made, so something was happening. But I mean, if they sanctioned her, at least they could have taken her to the hospital to find out the pump. If her cognitive side was changing, if her behavior was changing, if her speech was changing. They didn't notice that because you know why? How would you know if a person who had a fall, speech or anything has changed when they're intoxicated? It's impossible. So they did not do a proper job. And Lancashire police was so good to clear their own cells. Can you believe that? They said there's lessons to be learned. Poor Nicola. I hope the lessons to be learned. I hope the first lesson the Lancashire police learns, mindfully I'm saying it, is get yourselves a PR team to give us the timelines, to give us correct things, so that there wouldn't be speculation and TikTokers coming and messing up your place, which isn't right. Nobody should be going to any person's neighborhood. I can imagine Louise will be suffering, all of them will be suffering for the rest of their life, thinking about what could we have done different. And I hope the mental health team, the mental health nurse who went to her, I don't know, I don't understand. I hope I don't know. The mental health team are good workers, and I'm definitely sure she did her best because you can't force someone of getting help if they don't want to get help. And Nicola wanted to sleep. But what happened the next day? Apparently, Nicola got a CCTV scan and it showed negative. That is good. What happened the day after, the day after, and the day after? Because even if the CCTV scan shows negative, injuries can show later on. Symptoms can come later on. So it was really so sad. And if Louise said that she didn't want to see her children, she must have told the mental health nurse. That is a concern. They should have monitored Nicola. They shouldn't have been letting her drive when she's had an accident, fall on her head, or whatever she's had, or if she bumped her head by herself, or somebody bumped her head, allegedly, whatever happened, because you know why? We would not know. I'm not being out of line. I'm saying it respectfully. We don't know how she got the bump. But all I know is what could have been done. And then we have Paul sending the text message. Are you lost? How can you get lost in Gossin Road and the river that goes like a snake round and round? Where would you get lost, Paul? Are you being sarcastic? And you sent that message at 9:15. Isn't that when Nicola fell? Was that a signal for you? Allegedly. Anyway, I'm done with this case, guys, for now, because it really just hurts me to even talk about it when I've seen injustice has been done in such a wrong way. There should have been a trial, there should have been a trial, there should have been a trial. Because a man with a beanie hat was seen there, a man with black. Anyway, guys, take care. Please remember to subscribe to Hoodle London, Psychology, and the Sign and Crime. Please, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Take care. Have a lovely week. May Nicola's beautiful daughters get the chance to grow up healthy, wealthy, and remember that their mother loved them. The mother wanted the best for them. And the last thing their mother had in the heart was she was fixing a play date for you with Auntie Lucy, I guess. Not Louise, Auntie Louise, Lucy, your mother's friend, and her daughter. So your mom loved you, don't ever doubt that. It was an accident. It was an accident, or yeah, it was an accident, shall we say. So anyway, remember, guys, to look after each other, love each other, treat each other with respect. It's for free. Be kind to each other. Because this case has so many things mixed up, if y'all haven't noticed. Mental health, medical health, a bump on the head, police, divers, the press, the family, the TikTokers, the YouTubers. We have the Home Secretary. We have the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. We have everyone on the case. We had everyone on this case, so it was a lot. But if they knew it was an accident, why did it take 6 months to tell us it was an accident? And if it was an accident, why do you mention the man in black with the beanie hat? So y'all opened room for more speculation. I wonder how come they don't notice that. The witnesses said there was a man or two men with black and beanie hat and all, and y'all are not saying anything? That there wasn't like a hurry for them to investigate? I don't understand. And Paul clearly said, if somebody's new there, they stick out like a sore tongue. That person stuck out like a sore tongue, and nothing was done. Anyway, guys, I hope you'll have a lovely day. Wishing you all well. Look after yourselves. Watch the Summer Moon Wells case. And leave it in the comments. Is there any other cases? Because you all are my subscribers and viewers. This is a thing that we are doing together, that we are building together. This is a mental health crime channel that I believe, although it's my channel, my subscribers and viewers. I've had some subscribers from day one, and you'll know who you are. Pie in the sky, thank you for being there with me for day one. I have so many others. Denaline, too. So many others. Some I haven't seen for a while, and I hope they're really doing well. But we have got a lot of I got a lot of subscribers I won't lie from this case of Nicola Bulley, and I appreciate each and every of them. And I appreciate my subscribers that I've always had. Uh, Y'all are just y'all are just good people, honestly. Because I see, without we knowing each other, I see it in the comments. Y'all see my comments when I answer you. We know when we are upset or something, we want to make sure that something is pointed out. The thing I love about my channel is y'all have your own discussions in the comments, and y'all are so mindful and polite. I love that. Keep it that way, guys. Others YouTube gives community strikes. So please, let's look after this channel. Let's look after each other. Love each other. Life is too short. And what is lacking in this world is love, understanding, respect, mindfulness. I love that word mindfulness. And that is one thing that is lacking in YouTube. There should be boundaries. No boundaries. Every creator is crossing each other's path. I did it once only. And that was AD. I told him do not take my contents because it was happening a couple of times. But I sent him a super chat to show him that there's no hate there. I sent him a super chat because of all the situation that is going on. I'm not saying that AD is good or bad because I don't know him, but I can imagine how he feels when his daughter is mentioned, and I feel angry, upset, hurt, heartbroken when I see a little boy's face. Although now they have blurred it up, the boy's face is still there. Just because something is legal, it doesn't make it right. Remember that. Remember that. Just because something is legal, it doesn't make it right. And some things can actually turn illegal very quickly. If that boy, his parents, or older brother, or someone sees it, especially it's not only the boy's picture, the content that is being mentioned, the P word, and such things. That little boy was just singing. I don't know who's right, I don't know who's wrong, and I really don't care. But I want that little boy's picture to be taken out of there. Because if I don't stand for that as a licensed mental health counselor, then that means my psychology that I've learned in mental health is just a joke. I'm here to protect the minors, the vulnerability people, and people who don't get justice. This boy ain't getting his justice. Let's start with that. Take that little boy down. Please. Say please for a couple of days, nobody's listening, but it's sad. It's really sad and it's really horrible. Thank you guys anyway. I love y'all. I love you guys. I know it's hurtful about the Nicola Bulley case. Many of y'all have asked me in my comments. I wish we all were in one place so we could sit and talk and have a cup of coffee or a drink and just talk about it and exchange ideas and even give each other a hug. Because I really felt that I was thinking, oh, if I could only see my subscribers and just give them a warm hug. It was a very sad day. I hope Nicola Bulley gets justice. And I hope they make a tribute for her and give that bench more color and everything and make it a memorial bench for Nicola Jane Bulley so that her daughters can even go sit there in family and remember her. Although it's so tragic that it happened there. Please like, share, and subscribe, guys. And like, share, and subscribe to Hoodoo London, Psychology and Crime, please, guys. Take care. Love y'all. Bye.